Hey, and welcome to the Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm Elena Lipson. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle membership and the Virtual Retreat Academy. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your body, your health, or your family in order to create true abundance and prosperity. I believe in living based on the divine feminine metrics of success, and these include pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. Each week, I'll bring you 1 to 2 new episodes. One of these will be a guided meditation that you don't have to do on the meditation pillow, and the other will be a conversation to help you access your inner wisdom, to ignite abundance, and inspire others to do the same. I invite you to join me on this journey back to the magic of a divinely aligned and well cared for you. And now, join me for today's episode.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Divine Self-Care Meditations and Musings podcast. This is Elena Lipson, your Divine Self-Care mentor and host. And today is a little bit of a different episode. I wanted to share 21 things you don't know about me, and my desire, my hope, my wish is that you share some things with me as well over on my Instagram profile at Elena_Lipson, or leave a comment on this podcast, DM me on Instagram, however you want to reach me. I'd love to know about you. So I figured this is episode number 63, and it's been a while since I've introduced myself, way back in episode 1. So I wanted to just share some fun things in a creative way and just give you a little bit of insight into myself, hoping that you feel inspired to share the same, because sometimes it's just a voice in your ear and you know a little bit about me, but I wanted to just share some fun things so that you can get a sense of who I am. And as we continue this relationship and get to know each other, again, I definitely love to hear about you as well, whether it's fun or silly or touching or whatever it is, because, well, sharing is cathartic and it opens your heart to the world and to people around you. And the more we share, the more we realize we are just not so different. And in today's world of us versus them, it's more important than ever to understand that, well, the more you connect with someone, whether you share an interest over reading, a book club, food, family life, whatever, that, you know what, we're not all that different. We do have lots of beautiful differences, but at our core, a lot of us really want the same things, right? We want to be happy, we want to share, we want to have a good meal, we want to be in nature. And then, of course, we have things to talk about, and that is definitely happening. But I think we forget to just share the real deal of like our life and what we really like and who we are. So I guess my hope in sharing this with you is that you get to know me, that we feel more connected, but also you feel inspired to share parts of yourself that you think maybe no one's interested in, but more than likely people love to hear about you. So I have a list of 21 things, but the basics of who I am is, well, I'm a mom. I have a sweet kiddo who we started homeschooling last year. We moved to the Pacific Northwest from Southern California when he was just a little bitty baby. Before that, I lived in New York City. So yeah, I've lived in a lot of places. I'm highly intuitive and pretty psychic. And that's how I use those skill sets in my business, in my life, in coaching my clients. Let's see, I started teaching self-care because after I had my son and had been really working at a pace that didn't include really any kind of self-care except for the occasional massage, I realized that my nutrition was off, my sleep was off. Of course, after having a young baby, I'd been holding a lot of resentment. I hadn't been using my voice very well. And those are all the things that really inspire me today to teach self-care, especially to women who are moms, because I know that women who are moms, who are even not moms, but who have just influence over children and other people in your life, you have the ability to really show up and be a positive presence. And so that's why it just fuels my passion, because I know when you begin to take care of yourself, to activate your voice, to feel empowered to speak your truth in all situations, that's when life starts to become pretty damn sweet. So, okay, so let's not get too heavy because I really want to share with you these fun things. And then again, I'd love to hear from you as well. So number 1, I won a hula hooping contest in 6th grade while wearing a poodle skirt because it was a sock hop. Yeah. So you can tell I went to grade school in the 80s. So, and I can still hula hoop pretty damn well. I actually have 3 hula hoops hanging in my garage that I made, which I love to do, and I forget to do it. So maybe that's my reminder. Number 2, I can pretty much make anything with Play-Doh. This was a hidden skill that I did not know I had until I had a toddler. So yeah, pretty much anything with Play-Doh. So you can imagine I was really skilled at things like butterflies, caterpillars, any animal, and what else? I can't even remember because it was so much fun. So yeah, I can make anything with Play-Doh. Number 3, I was born in Russia, which was actually the Ukraine back then, but I was so young, I did not know any of the political boundaries or borders, but I speak Russian, and I can actually read Russian as well. I sadly have not taught my son very well, which does not make my mom happy, but he's definitely interested in learning languages, so I have no doubt that he will someday learn Russian. Number 4, I turned 43 years old this year, but I truly feel ageless. I actually forget how old I am quite often. I definitely believe that age is just a number and that your inner enthusiasm, your light, your energy is what drives you in this world. Your curiosity to try new things should never go to sleep. So I think that will make you feel older faster than anything else. So I love to stay active. I love to dance. I love to create. I love to write, travel, be outdoors, blah, 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 all these things. So 43 is just a number. Number 5, my favorite color, although this is really hard because I love color in general, but my favorite color is this really bright shade of turquoise. So yeah, pretty much my nails are that color right now, and my tattoo has that color. So yeah, turquoise, it's a good one because it makes me feel happy, and I love water, and I love being around water. So that's another thing. It's not on the list, but yeah, pretty much anything to do around water is good for me. Number 6. This one actually made me feel really bad when I was younger, but now it just makes me laugh. I have really long toes, and the middle toe is like the longest one. They literally look like fingers. So if you're ever with me in person, I will not be mad at you if you take a look at my toes. They are really long. Yep, I inherited it from my dad. That's just how it goes. All right, number 7. I grew up in Brooklyn, and when I go home to visit or even speak with my friends from Brooklyn, my accent comes lickety-split right back. It's hilarious. So if you ever hear me with that accent, it just means that I had a conversation with a friend from Brooklyn. Pretty funny. Number 8, I'm obsessed with pens and journals, but pretty much accessories in general, which includes cups and mugs and jewelry and hats and bags, etc. So yeah, pretty much any accessory. All right, number 9, my favorite part of back to school was shopping for, guess what? Pens, paper, and notebooks. You see that, how I did that together right there? Yeah, pretty much obsessed. Number 10, I skipped a year in high school. Yeah, smarty pants I was. I skipped a year because I had really good grades and I was always feeling like I was ready to be an adult. So I took that opportunity and I started college actually just when I turned 16. So I was really young. But looking back on it, I know there were some things I definitely could have just taken my time with, but I'm glad I did that because of where I am right now in my life. So yeah, I skipped a year in high school. So smarty pants, thank you very much. I claim it. All right, number 11, again, I'm highly intuitive and live life by my intuition. So even when I do strategic business building and planning, I use my intuition to navigate the choices and I trust it completely. And that's a skill that I've always been intuitive, always been a borderline psychic since I was very, very young. But I really have claimed it as an adult now and use it in really all areas of my life. All right, number 12. When I was 19, I sold everything and moved from Brooklyn to California. Yeah, by myself. Well, my sister and my brother-in-law were waiting for me in California, but it was just one of those things where my heart was calling to me, and it was a decision I made. And within 30 days, I literally sold everything and left. And it was ballsy, and my body was like in anxiety pretty much the whole time. All I could do was drink smoothies for like a month because I was so nervous. But it was really, what I needed to do. And it really changed the course of my life, like pretty much every decision does at that age. So yeah, it's amazing. So it's just incredible how we feel stuck sometimes, but change is really right around the corner. All right, number 13. My dad died unexpectedly when he was 53, and I was just about 24. And that was actually a very sad part of moving to California, because he was in New York. So I never got a chance to say goodbye to him. However, my very last visit with him, when I visited New York, we actually had one of our best conversations I've ever had with him. We went out for lunch for sushi, just the two of us. And we just, I don't know, maybe it was the age that I was at, and maybe it's where he was in his life, but we just had this great conversation where he just laughed and I laughed, and I felt really, really connected with him. And looking back on it, it was just such a gift for me, because he passed away pretty soon after that visit. And then number 14 is I said the eulogy at my dad's funeral. And it wasn't something I'd planned to do, but I was invited to do it by the rabbi at that day. And I just said yes, because I felt it. And it was really, really powerful. There had been extreme rain downpouring that day. And during my eulogy, the entire room was filled with just so many people. People were standing at the back because there weren't enough seats. And at one point, when I first started, I just kind of paused and looked around, and I said, my dad would be so happy to see all of your faces here, and so grateful. And I am too. And then right at that moment, the thunder just went boom, and everyone just went like, everyone jumped a little bit. So it was definitely a very powerful moment. So that was definitely a milestone in my life. All right, number 15. I have an older sister who's 6 years older. She's amazing. I love her. And she wanted to name me Tanya when I was born, and actually called me Tanya for a while until my cousin Tanya was born within a year later. So it was pretty funny. I also have a half brother who is awesome. He's in his 20s now, and he's in New York. I don't see him nearly as much as I want. And yeah, I hope I see him more often. Pretty cool kid. Number 17, I believe in past lives and multiple universes. So yeah, we can talk about quantum physics and parallel universes. We can just open a bottle of wine and start talking, because I've got a lot to say. It could probably be a whole other episode. But yeah, I'm pretty much into the woo. If you're here still by this episode, you probably know that about me. All right, number 18, I'm a foodie like crazy. I will travel for food pretty much anywhere, but my favorite food is sushi. Hands down, always is. If you ask me where I want to go, it's sushi. So if you visit and we go out to lunch or dinner, guess where we're going? I mean, I'll definitely try new things. I love Indian food and Thai food and Greek food and Italian food. I love food, but sushi, yeah, pretty much. All right, number 19. I definitely want to live in Italy someday. My family lived there for about 6 months when I was younger, when we were immigrating over from Russia to the US, and it just planted a seed in my heart. And so someday I really, really want to spend extended time in Italy. Number 20, I've always wanted to be a famous singer. Yeah, and dancer and writer and actress in my journal or in my diary. That's what I wrote when I was like 10, 11, 12. But yeah, being a famous singer is one of those things that I don't know, maybe someday, right? Ooh, it makes me scared to even think about singing in public. I have done it in the past. I've done it a couple of times, but yeah, not so much for public consumption, but maybe someday, you never know. And 21, I am married to my best friend. We've been together for about 19 years, just about. Married for just about 16 years. And we are growing and evolving together. He cracks me up. Literally our first conversation that we ever had, I knew he was potentially the one, because he literally had me laughing the entire time. And a life with laughter and joy and taking things lightly is a life that I want to live. So that was like the first check of the box. Yep, he makes me laugh. And then everything else, of course, got checked off too, because it's been a while. So that was 21 things and probably a little bit extra thrown in there. So now it is your turn. I would love to know about you. You can head on over. You can actually snap a picture of this podcast cover of this episode and post it on Instagram, and then just leave a comment, put it in your stories and tag me, or put a comment on your profile. Let me know what are like 2, 4, 5, 21 things about you. And if you dare, go ahead and post it on Instagram. Post 21 things about you, because you'd be surprised. The people that follow you, you might feel like they're not listening or watching, but they are, and they really want to get to know you. So I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you tag me. If you post it on your blog or Facebook, go ahead and tag me there as well. So it was fun getting to know you. Wait a minute. I didn't get to know you. You got to know me. I hope it was fun getting to know me. So thank you so much for being a listener. I really appreciate your presence here and your energy. I can feel it. I love getting all the comments. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Share it with a friend who needs to have a good laugh, and know that sharing is caring. And I would love to hear a review. So go ahead and leave a review. And 5 stars, of course. Why would you leave anything else? Because it's fun to share and leave someone a 5-star rating, because why not? I would do it for you if you had a podcast and I liked it. Yeah, there you go. All right. Again, this is Elena Lipson, your Divine Self-Care Mentor. Thank you so much for being here today. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Divine Self-Care Meditations and Musings podcast. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening and learning about the new Divine Self-Care way of being in your life, business, and the bedroom, based on the divine feminine metrics of success: pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. If you're ready to bust the myth of overwhelm and tap into an inspired start to each day, I've put together a free video series for you to help you start each day with energy, inspiration, and ignite that inner pilot light which attracts joy, magic, and synchronicity. You can access my 3-step magic morning practice to help you ignite your inner light and attract the abundance that you're craving. Head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would so love if you share it with a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, and please leave a review. That is how the magic starts to ripple out. Here's wishing you a day full of beauty, magic, and divine self-care. I'll see you next time at the Meditations and Musings podcast.